Hey guys, welcome to my new show Infocus, and here today we've got Mike, my assistant, Dave and and we've got Niki Marie, modelling. Today we're going to talk about him and where he comes from and why he does what he does, and also a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. Okay, so where are you from?
I come from Evesham, which is about an hour south of Birmingham, and I've got a little studio where I've been shooting for about 4 years. Come from a sort of graphic design background, but photography is sort of my business now, so that's what I'm doing with myself.
Cool. And where are you from, Niki?
Originally Western-super-Mare, but I'm based in Cheltenham at the moment, and I'm a full-time professional model.
Okay, cool. And so at the moment, what are you up to? What's going on?
I've recently just had a big overhaul of my business with a new website and everything, so that's gone really, really well. The modelling side of it's gone sort of so well that it's sort of overtaken a lot of my sort of wedding and portrait stuff.
Cool.
Which is part of the reason I'm sort of moving my modelling side to under a different name now. So rather than DPB photography, it's going to be under Codex now, which is sort of planning.
Okay, so Codex is your online.
It's going to be
from modelling, all that stuff. Okay, cool. What's your online alias? Why's my phone on? Turn your phone on silent.
What's my
Except for me,
alias?
identify. Yes. What's your modelling name?
Mine is Mr. Hugh Gives a Fuck.
How old are you? Because you're quite young.
Yeah, I'm 27.
You're old, kid.
Yeah.
No, I'm young myself, so I know there's obstacles and stuff. How do you think your age impacts the work you do?
I think it's got pluses and minuses. I found that it's been really...
I just phone again.
Forget about that, it's not my phone. I'll edit that out later.
It's been really good from a shoot perspective. I think I've made a lot of good friends, and I've been able to sort of connect with people on a sort of level playing field.
Do you think models and that are more accepting of you because you're young? Because most models are young. And...
I think we can click quicker.
Yeah.
I think the rapport there a bit faster a lot of the time.
So you're the same generation, aren't you?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You get what everyone's on about.
Yeah.
And they're more at ease as well, I think, that they turn up and they've got a young photographer.
But that causes the exact opposite problem. If you go to like a networking event or something, nobody assumes you're a photographer straight away, and you've got to really work twice as hard as everyone else to try and talk to people and get noticed and sort of network a little bit. So
I face exactly the same problem because I'm ugly and young. I look like a child, and so I definitely have to work hard with meeting people and at these events.
And most places you're banned by now,
Most
aren't you?
places I'm not allowed in yet.
Restriction by law, cannot go to this place within 30 miles.
It's true. I'm now allowed back around this
Yeah, you're not around this
which
area.
is why the studio's here. And,
I'm not allowed to venture any further.
I'm not even allowed to Liverpool anymore. They stop me going through the tunnel.
Stop you going to Manchester.
I'm not even allowed to get to Manchester anymore.
John doesn't want you anymore.
That's why John's here today filming, because I'm not allowed there. But how old are you, Niki?
Just turned 26.
26? How do you think? Are you 26 online? Does that...
Yes, I know.
I'm in the shit now.
There's lots of models who obviously say they're younger than they are, but no, I am 26 online and I am 26 in real life. So.
Does that affect the work? Does that affect people booking you?
Some people can, but the ones who actually do book me obviously look at what levels I do and obviously the skills and talents that I can bring to a shoot, so that's why I get hired. It's not the age. And in some photos I can actually look older than I am. If it's more of a commercial and editorial style.
Did you have a background that you brought with you? Were you doing something similar before modelling? Why modelling?
It's quite funny. I got into performing arts, did everything my parents didn't want me to do. I wanted to get a proper job, and I didn't. I went and did a degree in performing arts, and had the hell of a time. And then I did what they wanted me to do, and I got in a job. I hated it, absolutely detested it. 4 years later, we had new employees, and one of them was a part-time photographer. And for about a year, he kept convincing me to do it, and I did. And after 2 shoots,
the guy sounds like a pervert. Is he okay? Yeah?
No, it's fine. We did a nice little fashion shoot.
Oh,
Very basic, nothing.
I just bought a camera.
No,
No chef.
oh no. It was more work guys than that. It was working for like a leisure industry, so they were all mechanics.
Do you find a difference shooting with older people or younger people?
Yeah, there is a big difference. Younger people, apart from you, obviously, because you're just not get it, are a bit more chirpy. They got a bit more banter about them. How I work, I love banter. I like the back chat a bit, not too rude and explicit.
Yeah, I see the insults.
Yeah, it keeps.
I'm exactly the same. I think we can pull it off because we're quite young. I think if you had an older photographer,
they find you rude.
How did you find working with Dave today then? Because we did a photo shoot this morning. And so I could see the way these guys work together. We'll show you that video in a bit, but how did you guys...
Dave and I have worked together about 4 or 5 times now. The thing is with Dave, we haven't shot for over a year or something.
About a year now.
So you can just pick up and carry on where you left off? A year's a long time. And...
Yeah, we both had our own projects and we've worked with loads of different people over that time.
I think we both got better as well.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been exciting to be back up again and see what happens, really.
So it's quite good to do this today. But the shoot, I would say within the first couple of frames we started flowing back.
When his shoes came off. As soon as his shoes came off.
That's the doctor's smell of the feet.
The aroma.
I noticed. And that's something, so you were comfortable and you were in your zone, I guess?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's how you tell.
Well, no, I just noticed you kicked him off and I was like that.
You mean
we're there now, yeah.
When the shoes come off and the frame rate goes up, I know I'm doing well.
Yeah.
The frame rate, okay. So.
Yeah, when there's less looking at the camera trying to work out lighting and stuff, and it's just click in and work. And I work with music, so if you want more continuous movements than the stronger and harder music, certain styles of music changes the kind of style of photography that you shoot as well, doesn't it?
I actually intend to shoot quite quick as well, so a set will only last 15 minutes. And,
Yeah.
And then it's changed and I'll do something different. So, and I shoot sort of 100 frames an hour, so I'm quite quick.
That's a lot. I mean, we're shooting in my studio today, and Dave's never been here before. So, how did you find out? You bring in a model that you haven't seen in a year. You come to a foreign studio, different lighting and that.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
With no planning whatsoever.
Yeah.
Knowing you're going to have to sit here and get grilled afterwards as well. So, were you nervous before this?
No, not really. I just took my time with it. I had a good think before when I came in and judged, weighed the lights up and what have you. And ideas came pretty quickly. So, because Niki brought some good clothes and it wasn't too difficult to think of something good to do, so I think we managed that. And
it looked fun, but let's show everyone at home what went on this morning.
Okay.
We'll show them the video and then we'll be back.
Brilliant.
Soon as I love her, it's been too long, and I really love breaking your heart. These silver apples will shine on I was wrong. The hardest love has the coldest end. These girls fall like dominoes, dominoes. These girls fall like dominoes, dominoes. These girls fall like dominoes, dominoes. These girls fall like dominoes, dominoes, dominoes. These girls fall like 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 dominoes,
Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that video. A little bit of insight into the crazy world that is photography and modelling and all that stuff. Now we're going to talk a little bit about, what do you guys think worked well?
I felt I love the lighting setup in here. It's really good. So
Really flexible.
that was a real joy to use, and I found using the lighting setups I use at home at my studio. But here, having a bit more space, it added a bit more of a dynamic to it, so that was good. I was able to play with shadows a little bit more.
Did Niki do well? Did she do what she was meant to do?
She did alright.
Yeah, not bad.
No, she was really good. So, yeah, quite pleased with what I got, I think.
Cool. So what are you doing at the moment that's different then? So you've changed your business, you've changed your name, which is now Codex.
Yeah, Codex.
Codex on Pure Storm. So what's different?
I don't think my overriding style is going to change at all particularly. I'm still sort of very much in it for capturing sort of natural stuff.
The fresh, clean.
Exactly, yeah. Try and keep it slightly different and, new ideas and that kind of thing. I like working outside at the moment. I think it's something that I haven't been doing a great deal, apart from a few sort of key shoots, but I'd like to do that more, work on location a lot more, get out of the studio.
You've got a question, haven't you, for Dave?
I certainly have, yeah.
I certainly have. I've been waiting for this. This is my time to shine. Okay, go on then.
You're going into black and white photography
Yeah,
with weddings.
yeah.
Now, how do your customers like that? Because a lot of people spend a lot of money on bridesmaids' dresses being different colours and the suits and that. So, do you get a lot of people going for that?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
It's not for everyone. It's certainly not something that's exclusive. What I'm going to do exclusively. But I did make the decision a couple of months ago to try and do a fully black and white wedding. I was pushing it on anyone that came into my door looking at me.
Well, for the audience at home, they will be able to see some of your pictures
Okay.
while we're talking now, so they'll have a slight more idea of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But Dave's been doing a lot of when black and white experimentation.
Yeah.
How come you're going solely black and white into a wedding and not taking raw colour images that later on you can adjust? Because it's very risky.
Well, they're shot in raw, so they can
So
be.
you still can go back, yeah?
I can go back, absolutely, but you shoot in black and white on the back of the camera, so you get a better idea.
I feel it's more, it puts you there where you want to be.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's a feel, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
definitely a different aesthetic.
So it's more emotional.
Yeah, and
Exactly, yeah.
And actually, we found the bride and groom pop out of the picture a lot more, because a lot of the time everyone's got different coloured outfits on and stuff, and people sort of merge, and it's a very busy shot, group shots. Whereas black and white, the bride's always in a big white dress, and the groom's all suited and booted. So
In black suit.
in black and white, they really pop out of the frame.
To just tell a story, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Got a few projects going on. at the moment. One of my main, hopefully in the near future, is a book. Not just like a posing guide or anything like that. Hopefully that will become into it. But
not a magazine, not.
No,
filthy.
not magazine. Basically, I've worked with quite a lot of different photographers whilst I've been modelling. Some of which we've had very good creative ideas that we've wanted to expand on. And instead of it just going into a portfolio and being looked at, we've come up with an idea that we'd like it published. So you get like these Tashan books where you've got lots of different photographers looking at having different inspirations of theirs. Well, it'll be kind of mine. So it'll be how I work with different people.
What would you call it?
I haven't quite thought of that. I thought about Nikki's Naughty Thoughts, but I'm not quite sure yet.
That sounds awesome. Would you buy that?
I'd think it was a porno.
Would you buy that?
It's not porn, but it's more erotica. It's the way I like.
You like erotica?
I like erotica to play on the mind.
I visualise more.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to look at the pictures. Why are you laughing at me?
No, that's exactly how I feel.
I like pictures.
I like pictures. I don't like to read.
No,
It's too complicated. You can't read while you're trying to look at something.
no. I like
Can't
to
read
read
while-
the story.
You can't read while you're trying to do what?
While you're trying to look at something.
Concentrate.
The show's going a whole bit I feel like it's slightly took a swerve.
No, but it is an erotica book. That is how one of the books is starting off, and it's more of stories. So it's what the picture can tell you, not what it's meant to show.
And by the way, you've seen Niki working, right? I've seen it before. What did you think of Niki? Did you think you seen some of the pictures?
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Any other? Any other thoughts?
She's a model. They pose and take pictures, and we'll see after effect when it's,
I'm glad I asked you.
Yeah.
Very glad
That's
you.
what I'm here.
You've
This-
worked
this
with a lot of
would be very
models,
pointless.
obviously.
Well, I've been around with Christian for a while. We've seen quite a few models. To me, it's just pose and take a picture.
That's it. That's all it
I'm
is.
a layman. What can I say?
Let's take a break here, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you actually editing one of the shots from today. Shot of Niki. Dave's been kind enough to share some of his little tricks and tips, and hopefully you guys can take some inspiration and some of his ideas and apply them to your own pictures. Enjoy.
This one, just because it's simple and it's going to be reasonably easy and quick to edit, but it will show all the different sort of editing techniques that I use, so I think it's a good one for that.
Okay, cool.
There's a few stray hairs which will be a bit of a bugger, but everything else is pretty straightforward. There's not much I want to do in RAW. Maybe just tweak the exposure up a touch, a little bit of contrast, but photo's fine as it is really. Most of the changes are going to be sort of skin and a bit of colour. So
Do you try and keep it minimal?
yeah, pretty much. It's if I get it right in camera, then I don't have to do much editing, and it keeps my workflow nice and short, which is good. So we'll go with that. So I usually start with the skin. Oh.
Niki's skin isn't too bad.
No, it's pretty good. There's just a few little bits here and there, but most of them can be sorted out with sort of a patch tool.
I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to lie. So this is goodbye. This is goodbye.
I'm pretty pleased with that now, so what I do now is a little skin smoothing technique just to put over the top of the changes I've made which is reasonably quick and simple, and it breaks one of the cardinal rules of skin smoothing, which is using a blur filter, but it sort of deletes the blur filter at the same time, so you don't actually blur the skin at all. Let's see if I'm allowed to do this. So, oh, that's wrong. So,
where's my actions?
yeah, where am I? So you just sort of select the skin as best you can. That'll do. And then, where's mask mode? Masking is disappeared.
And so what have you done here?
I've just selected the skin, but it's selected a few other things which I don't want it to select, so I'm going to try and stand here. Just delete the areas I don't want selected. Using the brush. Ideally brushwork. If you've got a stylus, use the stylus because it's a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I was strangely enough, because I used to do a lot of editing on a MacBook Pro,
Yeah.
I used to use the tab quite a lot, and then when I made the transition over to desktop computers, I actually bought the tab, the tablet version that comes for iMacs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so for a long time I was editing on one of them using my fingers, and like for mice I just can't use mice at all, but eventually when I tried out a pen tablet, just it seemed strange. It was a difficult learning process, but now I can't imagine
Oh, it's so worthwhile
not
getting
using
one.
it. Yeah, I always say when people don't use one, all you've got to do is spend a couple of days
Learning, yeah.
and just even if you're just browsing the internet or YouTube or Facebook, do everything, press every button with a tablet, learn how to.
Yeah, it speeds you up so far.
Yeah,
so much.
it's incredible the difference it makes.
So that's pretty good. It's going to bleed into this because it's all soft and feathered anyway, so that's pretty good now. I'm quite happy with that. So duplicate that selection twice. And select the middle one. And do surface blur. And I choose roughly the same thing every time, which is about 25 pixels. And then radius about 20. That'll do. It's one of the slowest filters to apply, I find. And then a high pass on the top layer. That's about 1.5.
Do you often get asked how you do this kind of stuff?
Sometimes, yeah.
Because your pictures look quite natural.
Yeah.
And that's quite subtle. That's not too hard.
And then you just drop the other one down to 50%. And I'll show you what that's done. If I just click this off.
Right, so the texture's still there, isn't it?
The texture's still there. And you've got a slider for how much you want to add.
The opacity. So.
Yeah. So you've got quite a lot of control over how much you want to add. Because sometimes it's too much, sometimes it's not enough. But usually 50% is about right. I'm not too displeased with that at all. And the redness on the... It can get rid of it sometimes. It hasn't this time. It's hoping it might. You have to flatten that. You can't make too many edits with that going on in the background. I would like to get rid of this redness because that's going to be a pain in the bum. Let's try the clone tool. It's going to be a bit trial and error this. See what works best.
Clone on low opacity or something.
Yeah.
Something. Well, one I've recently been doing is just getting a brush and selecting a similar skin tone on a low opacity. Kind of just like fake makeup.
Yeah.
Works pretty well. That looks alright.
And then maybe just blend it in with the even brush. It's one of those things when you're editing something like this, it looks wrong until you zoom out a couple of times and zoom back in, and you actually realise that you close to being done on it.
Yeah.
It's better than it was.
I would say that typically your pictures have kind of like a nice natural fresh feel to them.
Yeah.
Is that something you do in colour or in camera?
I do change. I tend to change the colours quite a lot, which is sort of the next step. That will do. It's quite a minor part. So yeah, now I'll be looking to sort of increase some colour into it, increase some contrast into the photo. Because although it's pretty good, it's not as flat as it might be. A lot of photos can start life out quite flat, but this one's pretty good. So what I'll do is I will set up a duotone. So I'll select all, copy the whole document, then open a new document, paste it in, then I will grayscale a new document, which we need to flatten, and then make the duotone. It's quite a nice sort of soft image this, so let's go for a sort of light blue to start with. Okay. Just drag that out, and then shift and copy it over, and that will copy it directly over. And then there's a number of different things to do. I just tend to do a combination, but this I'm just going to drop down to 20%. You can keep it on normal, or you can just go with the colour, and that will keep the luminosity of the picture. And that basically acts as a sort of desaturation, and it will give you a sort of slight colour cast that you're after. But you need to balance that. If you choose a cool one, you want to balance it with a warm one. Or if you choose a warm one, you can balance it with a cool one, you get a sort of different effect. So you just go back to the other duotone, the duplicated one, and then balance it off with a similar sort of colour, opposite sort of colour. Again, drag, shift it over.
This look has definitely become connected with your style, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That fresh kind of clean image.
And you can, rather than keep it as a normal layer, do it as a soft light layer, and you get a slightly different effect. Not too much though, because you want to balance them so one isn't overtaking the other. It does desaturate it though, so you need to bring that back in with something. Quite like that. So, oops, wrong one.
What kind of time would you spend on a picture usually?
10-15 minutes. Usually maximum 10-15 minutes really.
Is that as a rule, or just
No, I mean
how it happens?
it can vary. It can vary. So all these sliders and stuff end up usually ending about a sort of 15-20% mark, just to keep the changes subtle and what have you. You just build them up until you're happy. I'm quite happy with that. It looks natural. It's nice and warm.
Is this how you'd finish an image?
Yeah. I mean, I finish with a crop usually,
But this one's...
but yeah, it doesn't. You never slither off the left-hand side.
No, this one's pretty good anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. Just check the sort of curves and levels. You can usually brighten the picture. Oh,
I actually really like that effect. It's really good. Just lightens up that shadow a little bit,
yeah.
but still keeps it as a shadow.
So it's usually just a case of sort of just playing around with it until you're happy. contrast in there. Just keep an eye on the histogram really, make sure the ends aren't going over. That's when you get sort of burnt out spots and blacked out blacks. But I quite like that.
It's nice.
I'm reasonably pleased with that.
Hopefully our viewer will have learned something. And thanks for sharing your knowledge.
That's alright.
So
It's flat on that. Oh, where's command control?
Cool. That looks good.
Excellent.
Looks nice. And there you have it. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. David very kindly offered to share his techniques and I hope you took something away from it. I know I did. What did you think, Mike?
Not much.
Well, actually, I was sat at the back of the room when you were I just didn't know all that. I was actually on the iPad playing a game, so I thought it was pretty awesome.
I didn't see it, but I know Dave's cool.
So I saw it over his shoulder. I don't know anything about. Was it Photoshop you were using?
Yeah,
But I tried to use it the other day, and you know what? You're gonna have some talent to use that program. Really have. That's my.
Turn that around.
Well done.
Yeah.
We'll put that in the final.
That's
cut.
awesome.
Anything else you want to say? I don't know. Okay, so what do you think about the way he edits these pictures? Because these are your pictures as well, so...
Dave and I have a pretty good understanding of how we edit, don't you? Normally, obviously, every photographer's got all the right to edit the images, but as it is a collaboration, you do kind of want it to sell on both parts. It's not normally the editing that I'm involved in, it's more like picking the right picture that works for both of us.
Yeah, we
I
help
think
each other pick the right pictures.
that's where we go. So sometimes if you're scanning through, you have an image of what you want, and you might go past something, whereas they're having somebody else's eyes, you just go, well, I'll try that one. And then if you start editing it, within 5 minutes, you've gone, oh, hang on, this shot's actually been quite good.
I usually find that what I prefer, like when I take pictures, I usually find that I have a completely different eye to my model, and they'll end up picking ones that I don't think will work very well, or the composition might be off, and the model will still like it.
Models in general have a way that they choose pictures that look better for them, because in the way they need it to sell. And photographers will use more of like if the face has been hidden, it wouldn't work well for a model if it's meant to be a beauty shot.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Things like that. So I think it's up to the photographer and the model to come to an understanding whether to either compromise or the photographer to say, okay, it's not what I want, but I will do it for you as long as you're happy I can have these. So
I found a lot of models do just trust you to choose the pictures. So it's great when you've got one who, when they've got really good feedback and they want to choose some pictures themselves, and the more creative a model is, generally the better decisions they're going to make, I find.
And Niki's fairly creative.
Yeah, definitely.
Brings the poses. You know, you've definitely got that edgy thing going on at the moment, which is great. And same as you've been going a bit more edgy, would you say, in some of your pictures?
Yeah, to and fro. And to be honest, it's been a nice time for experimentation for me the last sort of 6 months. It's like trying different things and working with different people, like models that I wouldn't necessarily work with before. So I've worked with some really good people in the last 6 months, but I think it'll influence my work in the future, but I don't think necessarily that it's going to be the way I go.
You had something else to ask? What was it?
Okay,
I've been sitting there eagerly waiting.
Silent. Wait for you guys to stop talking. Okay, well, if somebody can come and watch this, what we're doing today, and they can put up with the first 10-20 minutes of us talking crap. Okay? If you could give them one bit of advice about starting up in the industry as a model or as a photographer, what would it be?
That's a good I honestly didn't expect this. So yeah, brilliant question.
The no respect they have for me, it's terrible. I have got a brain up here somewhere.
Brilliant question, guys. So yeah, what is your advice to a new photographer, first of all?
I think be ballsy, and don't be afraid to talk to people who you know better than you. Because even if you'll learn a lot from them, and just go out there and be ballsy about stuff. Ask people questions. Ask models who you never think will shoot with you to shoot with you.
Just ask.
Yeah, because you never know. Someone might say yes, and that'll be all you need that will propel you forward in another 6 months.
That's true. What about you, modelling? You know, what's your advice?
Think about if you're serious about it or not, because there's quite a lot of time wasters out there where photographers like Dave might book and then they'll do no shows, which obviously lets the rest of us models down. So if you are serious, take it seriously. It's not something that can be messed with. You're messing up with a lot of people's time, effort. If people are hiring the student,
money.
Yeah, you don't do that. And the other thing is, always remember there's room for improvement. Even at my level, I still practice. I still look at different angles where I can improve always. And to me, that pushes me to do it.
This got very deep very quickly. I feel like we should who's first?
You all look at me and laugh at me, but I bring it all out in news.
That question stirred up some emotion there. Guys, you've been great. It's been such a fun day. I mean, you come in, done your shoot. I've enjoyed watching you guys work. Very professional and a very good experience just for me. And Mike, I know, enjoys watching people work.
Yeah, definitely.
And we can't wait to see you guys again. So definitely come back soon.
Thank you.
Shake my hand. You have to shake Izzy.
Thank you very much. I want to shake your hand. Thank you very much for coming, people.
Okay, guys, it's the end of the episode. This has been Dave and Niki and Mike. I'm going to show you something now. Mike's going to be doing a segment on the show, DIY, as independent.
It's my DIY sub-bit.
Bits.
Sub-bits.
As independent filmmakers and photographers, we've always got to, make the best of what we've got, and so sometimes that means buying cheap lights or bodging together something with what you've got and with the money you've got. And so
an idiot will do it, so you get.
Idiot will do it. So next week, Mike's going to show you how to make some film lights from very, very little money, just your standard lights from Homebase or B&Q, and what it takes just to bodge it together. And so this little segment is
very effective.
Is a view into what you could expect to come. A little bit more scripted though. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, guys, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Bye. Hi, it's Mike here with his weekly DIY Infocus bit of a sub thing. I'm here today to show you how to make a fabulous filming light, very cheap and effective, saves you thousands of pounds, probably about 50 quid to do this here. All you need is a halogen lamp, pick it up from any DIY store, some sheet aluminium and some paint. Show you some paint here we've got here. Forgot what it was then, a bit retarded today. You also need some hinges and some screws, but you'll see that in a bit when we get the magic up and show you. You also need some tools as well. Now what you need to do, kids, when you're at home is just watch what you do with tools. And we're going to be messing with electrics and stuff, so make sure you're fine with that and you've got an adult with you when you're doing that.
What do we need, Mike?
We need aluminium, sheet aluminium. This lovely silvery stuff you can get from the shops. Not expensive, comes like this. You're also going to need templates, but we'll show you that in a bit on how to do the sizes and whatnot. We've also need various tools, but off the top of my head right now, I can't think of what they are. And I keep looking at Christian. We control the power of this amazing dimmer switch here, 400 watt dimmer. Pick them up from any good electrical store, not B&Q because they're shit.
Show us how it works.
I can't actually show you how it works right now because Magic Wonder of Power isn't plugged in. I can probably show you one that's on the set that I've done, but it'll fuck up the lighting. So there's no fucking way I'm going to be able to show you that. But it works by electricity running up here. You switch it on, it dims, it controls the light output. You have the barn doors here to direct the light, the flow of light, and go together sexy like that.